welcome to the Tanya Hoffman's Fabulous TV show. And as always, I have incredibly fabulous guest stars like the fabulous Mr. Mark Allen. Yay!
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Fabulous.
You're more than fabulous. You have more energy than 12 little puppies.
I don't know about that, but today is tornado day. I've got a tornado about 30 minutes from me right now. So,
no.
I know. Isn't that crazy? It's like, tornado, what? Don't they know we're in the middle of a show?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So y'all are in for such a treat today. Mark is incredible. He's got such a wealth of knowledge and history, and just it goes on and on and on. So Mark, tell us a little bit about you and what you've got, going on in your world, so everybody knows how fabulous you are.
Well, I have been a host and producer for years, for let's say over 25 years, and I produce a wide variety of video product to start with. I started as a host, and then somebody told me I actually had the Dick Clark syndrome. Do you know what that is?
No.
Dick always wanted to work. Okay. And so he became a producer, and, he started American Bandstand, and produced it. He was the driving force, and he owned radio stations. He did everything he could so he could always work his talent.
Nice.
And so I have emulated that, and not to the degree that Mr. Clark, may he rest in peace, has, but I do a variety of areas. We do a lot of marketing videos. We do direct response. I do commercials, and we do web videos and whiteboard videos. So we do that kind of thing. One interesting thing that people never believe is that I was actually born in Hollywood, California.
Wow.
I mean, the Hollywood, not Hollywood, Florida, but Hollywood, Hollywood.
Wow. So you were just destined to be fabulous.
I guess, it's really strange, but yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, and what a lot of people don't realize, because we met at an event and you were videotaping, and I can't wait to get the video information or the video so I can use it for a scissor reel and everything. I need to update my scissor reel so bad, even though it does the job. I mean, I got a gig at the Illinois State University,
wow.
So, it does what it's supposed to do, but
yeah. Always have to, you have to update. I updated my talent reel in January, I think it was, for an agent, and I need to do it again. It's a constant kind of a thing. What's interesting to me is that in our age of instant, you're in Texas, I'm in California. Here we are talking. We got people listening and watching all around the world. And yet you're going to Illinois to speak in person.
Yeah.
Right? Because that one-on-one connection is so important. And even though you're on a stage and there's 1,000 people, you have a connection with 1,000 people out there. I think that's so important. And I think, unfortunately, young people don't see that.
Well, I think it's just, I run into people all the time. They don't see it, right? And because I think people, it's kind of like our topic today, power of the mind. People look inwards instead of outwards.
Right.
If you really want to go out there and help a lot of people, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be on Blab. You've got to be, on the social media circuit. You've got to be on virtual events. You've got to be out there speaking in front of people, because it's all about connecting to people and really getting to know them, right?
No, absolutely. And I think that when we started Late Night Health, the idea was to empower people to take charge of their own health. The power of the mind is amazing. Do you know what the placebo effect is?
Yes.
Right? That means if two people, one takes a sugar pill and the other takes a supplement, okay? It could work for both of them because the doctor tells the patient it's going to work. The placebo effect is worth 50%. And I'm not a healthcare guy. I just talk. I mean, that's what I do. I just talk. And the fact that the placebo effect works 50% of the time, you give a sugar pill and say, if you take this, your diabetes is going to go away, and you take it religiously, 50% of the time, the diabetes might be controlled. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that I'm always shocked with, even for myself, because a lot of people don't realize how far I've had to come in my transformation. I have the same goal every year, and that is to look back at myself the year before and not recognize myself.
Right.
And
I do that by coloring my hair.
Me too. So, a lot of it is about getting out of inside of your head and start to really experience life. I mean, this was me in 2005.
Oh my.
Total introvert. And people are like, you were not an introvert. So I always have to show them the picture. I'm like, oh yeah, this was all introverted. This was in myself. This was closed myself off to everybody. And then I realized it was only hurting me. And I had so many gifts to give to the world, and that I had a personality that people wanted. Because when you get, I've always was the weird one, the one that just never fit into the group, whatever the group was.
Right. Let me ask you, when you were introverted, did you have thoughts about, I want to say so-and-so and so-and-so in the group, but just withheld it?
It was always not really withholding. I just wouldn't even put myself in the situation. So I just would avoid any interaction in order to keep myself safe. And I totally get why I was that way. I mean, I had a pretty horrific, history in my life. So I understand why I wanted to keep myself safe and away from people. But then you start realizing that you're always focused on the negative, the people who are going to hurt you, versus all these amazing people that I get to meet now that are just nice, and really want to help, right?
Absolutely. What we were at a group. Can we mention the name? We should, I think. Sure. Right? The global,
the EBC,
the EBC, and the global.
Oh, you froze.
I did.
Are you there?
I'm still here.
Oh, I hope he comes back. Oh, are you there now?
Yeah, I am.
Yay! Okay.
Yay. Okay. I'm a beta, by the way, so that's why. I've got to wait. Well, what really got me about the EBC and the Global Influence Summit is that everybody's willing, like you, to pay it forward. And I find that refreshing. It's something that I always try to do. I thought I had done that. I'm trying to do it even more than before.
Right. Well, and I think it's all this. People don't understand how to leverage. They have a real hard time with the balance. And what a lot of us we're givers. So there's usually people that are givers and then people that are takers.
Right.
Right. And we don't know how to balance both of those.
But if
Oh, I can't hear you now. What happened? I don't know either. Huh. Why don't you drop out and then come back in and see if that'll reconnect you? That's weird that it would all of a sudden stop. Well, we'll see Mark in just a second. We're going to take a personal little break. Accepting back in. Conde, can you hear me? Or is it me that's... Huh. Oh, yeah, so he can hear me, but we can't hear you, Mark. That's weird. We were hearing you just fine. Did your little plug go away? Maybe you got unplugged? Hmm. We're trying to figure out some technical difficulties, so hold on as we hear from the fabulous Mr. Mark Allen, the famous Mark Allen. No, that is crazy. It's like all of a sudden it just went poof. Okay, let's try it again. There you are. Can you hear you now? Yep, we still can't hear you. Is that crazy? I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
We're hearing you just fine.
I must
have. Yay!
I've got this
Did you
button
mute yourself?
here. I didn't even touch it. Well, I thought I had. I must have muted myself. I'm sorry. And
it's like there's like this little button on the headset,
right.
And sometimes I'm like adjusting it, and I'll hit it.
Exactly.
And people are like, I can't hear you
and
anymore.
And all of a sudden, my video looks better. At least,
Well, yeah, it's always funny to me because when you start looking at video, you do a lot of video, and you probably do a lot of radio, and you have all of these equipment.
It's funny. I don't consider myself a technical guy. Okay, I with the EBC and Global Influence Summit, I volunteered to help and brought my gear. And I would much rather have had a real camera person there rather than me, because I'm a director and a producer and do that and come up with creative things. But I wanted to help out Charmaine and Teresa to the best of my ability.
Yeah, and it's hard for people to see what's missing, and I think that's what's so great about being a producer and director. You probably saw things going on. You're like, well, if they did this, because that's what our I mean, when I came up to them, I said, well, who's going to be introducing you? And they're like, nobody. I'm like, well, hello. Let me introduce you then. Don't go on stage without someone introducing you. It's those little things that we see from. I think there's
producing is like being a contractor. All right. I'm a little bit different in that I'm a hands-on producer. You bring in all the elements for a production, for example, or we'll use Late Night Health because we are talking about the power of the mind. And I've got web people. I've got people who do the technical side of the radio show. Tanya's going to be on it. Do you remember the date? I've got it. Oh, this coming Monday, the 14th.
Monday.
We're taping it, so it'll be out on everything, including iTunes, in just over a week. Yay! I can't wait. Yay. In fact, you know what? You're going to do me a favor, Tanya. You're starting the show. We may do. Our show does little segments because people like little bites, and so I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have a ball, as we are now. But the thing that I mean, all these books behind me are books on health. Most of them. A couple of these right here, where my finger are, those are my notebooks on marketing. But Late Night Health has grown, and the bottom line that I've learned is that you have certain things that, as a healthcare consumer, because
you muted yourself again.
Boy, is that, I got to tell you, that is a sensitive little thing. That's weird. Is that you have to be in a positive frame of mind. And if you're not, you get sick. Right. Now, people, who are positive still get sick. Okay.
But But I certainly don't get as sick now as I used to. I mean, I would have like bronchitis every year, and just always you had allergies and stuff. And now, yeah, every once in a while I'll have sniffles, and every once in a while I actually get a cold, and you're like,
no,
oh yeah,
exactly.
that's what it was like.
I think that what happens is that people don't realize the power they have at their fingertips. Okay? They really don't. And that's part of what we're trying to do with our show. I mean, you're doing the same thing. We're empowering people.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's what I see it all the time with people, because when you really look at positivity, it goes so many ways, and you also have to really look at how are you using it, not just in your life, but in your business. Because I see a lot of people that say one thing and they don't believe
absolutely.
it. I mean, you can tell they don't believe it.
It's going back to that give and take. I try to give, exceed expectations. But there has to be a give and take back and forth. It's like in a relationship with a spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. And I think that's an important thing.
Yeah. I was just in Oakland and I was speaking at an event, and it was very interesting. It was for speakers. I was there to talk about the Public Speakers Association. I did a whole presentation on stage about online marketing,
sure.
online speaking, right? And what was interesting, there was a 3-day event. I spoke on the very last day. I went for that entire event. They had 5 other people come and speak beside myself, and then the main stage people. All 5 of the other speakers flew in or drove in, spoke for their, whatever amount of time, and then gathered up all their stuff, and they were out of there. Not me. I stayed the entire time. I built a relationship with every single person there, and I walked out with 95% of the people ready to do business with me or doing business with me by then, where they walked out with about 10%, right? And it's all in how you show up. Are you showing up that you're really wanting to know these people? Right. Or are you just showing up as a transaction?
When I go out, when I speak, and I haven't done, it's funny. I don't know if I told you this. Maybe I did. A week before I met you, almost 2 weeks before I met, I'd met Charmaine and Teresa, but I didn't know I was going to be doing video yet. And I kept having a recurring dream that I was on stage delivering a speech. Okay. I haven't done that in a number of years. And all of a sudden I started writing words down. And our friend Robert Clancy, who's a regular on Late Night Health, Robert's the author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul and is a great guy. And do you know Robert? Okay, well,
no, I'll
introduce you today. Yay, he's a great guy.
Yay.
And so Robert gives inspirational messages each week on Late Night Health. And they're a minute and a half, a minute. And he's just a wonderful guy. And I mentioned to him, hey, I wrote down the name of a speech. And I believe that everybody sells. And so the name of my speech is Secrets of a Cemetery Salesman. And everybody who hears that laughs. Secrets of a Cemetery Salesman. I was telling one of my sisters, because my father sold cemetery plots, and
wow.
But he exceeded expectations. He loved what he did. and there you go. It was just kind of an interesting thing to see all these speakers from all over the place, all over the world, really, including Natalie, and that I was envisioning myself doing that. Something I haven't done. I sit alone in a studio all by my lonesome and talk for the most part.
Right. Well, it's the reality that each person has a brilliance, and we all really have an ability to go out there and change somebody's life. It's how you show up. And then are you showing up with the right audience? And what was always odd to me, and this was always a shock, because my husband's very analytical. So, I guess the opposites attract or whatever. But I also attract a lot of analytical people because I think they see that I have the creativity and the marketability, and helping them figure out what their market is and how to get their message out there in a way that they can't see it. They can't angle their minds, but they are brilliant at step one, step two,
and
which
we
is
all
not
have
my
our
brilliance,
special
right?
talents. There's no question. We have to have our special talents. It's what makes us unique and what makes us interesting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you really got to own not just the part that you're really good at, but own what part you're not. And say it's okay, because I see people really struggle with it from the beginning and say, I have got to figure out how to do these taxes. Why?
Yeah,
when there's so many brilliant people who can do it for you.
Somebody came up to me and said, "How long have I been a videographer?" And I said, 15 minutes. Because I'm not a videographer. I know enough technical stuff to be dangerous. Do you want to,
yes,
talking about the power of the mind and maybe a little bit of marketing? I told you a funny story, funny to me anyway. This was a box that was sitting on my floor. This is a fish passport. We get on Late Night Health, we get anywhere from 10 to 20 requests to be on the show every day, 6 to 7 days a week. And which is, it makes me feel good. It's really exciting. And so I told you I get books in the mail all the time to be reviewed. I got an aquarium. I mean, with a free fish, not dried, by the way. I have to go to the pet store. But and the problem is that the note said enjoy. I think it said Monica, but there's no contact information. And so people do make mistakes like that. And
yeah, she stood out in such a huge way and really set herself apart from everybody, but yet she forgot the major part, which is hello.
Yeah, email, phone number, something.
Tell me who you are.
Right?
I love it.
This is a little bit, by the way, this is a little bit unusual for me. As you know, I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people over the last 25 to 30 years, and being in the hot seat is a little bit unusual for me.
Well, I'm really glad that you're here.
I'm enjoying the hot seat a lot
today,
especially when I don't touch my little.
Thanks.
Sure. My mute button. I didn't even know I had a mute button. See how technical I am.
I know, and you're probably see all kinds of interviews, right? All types of personalities. And I'm always surprised with the people, because my show is, it's not a send me your, what you want me to talk about, and we're going to go through it. Now I've got the Blabathon coming up on March 22nd, and those we are going to be reading what they want us to ask them, because it's different. And so I've had people who are like, well, I mean, I'm not going to know what you're going to ask me, and I'm like, it's okay. Just go with it, And then there's some people who are like, oh, you're not going to have me write specific questions. I'm like, no. And like, yay.
I connect to source when I'm doing an interview, and I let it flow. It's a conversation. There's somebody who just wrote something that I'd like to talk about, because it does go back to what I think you and I are basically all about: helping other people and what to do about negativity. Somebody wrote in saying that she really is enjoying your show, and I'm going to start waking up. Well, I get up earlier before your show starts, but I'm going to turn it on from now on. And about that they used to be positive, but they've been bombarded by negativity. How do you protect yourself from negativity? Somebody saying, Tanya, you can't get up in front of a group and speak.
Oh, yeah, because used to be, someone would say something, hurtful or just negative, and I'd be like, why don't you like me? What's not
I'm
to
still
like?
That way.
And it is every once in a while, and I tell you, it's usually from someone that I highly respect. When I get, and it's usually kind of more of a betrayal than anything else. It's not usually because of what someone says, because I get ugly emails, and then to me it's like, yay, I found someone who doesn't like me, because that means that there's other people who do, right? When you hit that button, you know that you are really talking specifics now, and that you've got a personality that just doesn't resonate with people,
but
which
at
is
the same
fine
time,
for me.
you know that when you get, what they used to call hate mail or nasty mail, and now it's email and instant and anonymous, or potentially anonymous, you've made it, because you're making an impact. And somebody who sends a negative thing is just trying to protect themselves.
Oh, and usually, if I get an email, I could tell what's bothering them, and it has nothing to do with me, right? I'm out telling people that they don't have to get paid to speak, that they actually are losing money by getting paid to speak. And so I get people that send me really ugly emails. They're like, stop telling people that. I wanted to go back the way it used to be, where I was always paid. And it's their fear, right? That they don't want to change with the times. They don't want to try something new. They want to just be the way it used to be.
Well, change is good. Right? I find that media has changed. We're in the media right now, okay? Even with my poor lighting here in my office, which is driving me nuts, the media has changed. It's splintered. We're now on Twitter, Facebook. I don't know what other social media we're doing. We sent out a little video that I did yesterday with a woman who works with those of us who are a little bit rotund. And we did a little video, and people are responding to that. Where 15 years ago, I couldn't have done a video like that and shared it with as many people so quickly. And so media is constantly changing. Blab is brand new, right?
And this is what I think. Oh yeah, and this is what I think people have a hard time kind of catching up with everything. Is here we have live broadcast on Blab, but it's also then recorded on Blab so people can watch it here. It's also uploaded to YouTube. So now you splintered it off. You take the iFrame, and now it's on the Public Speakers Association website. It's on TanyaHoffman.com. You now have this variety of locations. That's
a telemarketer. I forgot. Of course it is. Every morning.
Of course it is.
And they start all day long. What? Right.
I love the ones that are like, hello, hello. Oh, I guess you're not.
When a telemarketer calls, are you nice or you just hang up?
Right. If they're live, if it's a recording, I just hang up. You know, there's a lot of ones that are recordings now. But if they're live, I've had so many sales happen.
You sell them?
Telemarketers.
I've tried that. That. Especially with, I used to work for the produce programming for the Financial News Network. That's way back when. That was the roots of CNBC. And people call me and say, do you want to invest? And I said, do you want more, do you want hot leads or do you want the penny leads that you're buying now? I said, I can give you, I don't even do it anymore because most of the time they're young kids and they don't understand what television is.
I love the ones that I'm like, well, why don't you just join the association and then that way, we could become, get to know each other and I can see about your product then. And they're like, what association? I'm like, who are you calling?
None.
What company? They have no idea, right? They're just picking up the phone. And I'm like, okay, that's your first thing. So then I'm teaching them, right? And sometimes you can have the greatest conversation and sometimes you just let them go because they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's all automated. What bothers me is that there's that pause and you don't know what's going on. Right? It's it's pretty amazing to me. And you can be on the do not call list. I mean, it's not that I don't want solar. It's, I don't want financial planning. I'll get it when I want it,
Yeah. Well, it's like, with really anything, we're talking about, just the power of the mind and how what we say shows us what kind of mindset we're in, right? And because a lot of times people don't know what they're actually saying, right? They're talking, but they're not hearing their words they're choosing. So they're telling people that they're brand new or that they don't know what they're doing or that they're super scared or that they are super negative.
I just had a thought. If I don't know how to do this, I have a book I'd like to donate to. You tell me the 10th person, I'll mail it out to them, or the 20th, you pick a number, who sends us love, and I will pick a book out from my library back here. How about a cookbook, a vegan cookbook? Okay. And
nice.
And we'll send it to them. Okay.
Awesome. Why don't we just, how do you want them to contact
They can email
you
me at, they can, I know what they could do. Go to latenighthealth.com and there's a way to contact me, info@latenighthealth.com. But if they go to latenighthealth.com and pick a number, Tanya, you be the number picker. 20? 2? All right.
2 comes up.
How about, all right. How about you say 2 and I'll say 0. How about the 20th person who sends us an email? Okay. And I'll keep track of that. We'll get a book. I can grab the book now so you could see it. Maybe I'll do that in a minute.
Awesome.
Right.
And even though y'all are listening to the recording,
that would be great. I forgot about that.
Anyways.
Yeah, this has got to be on the live thing. But if you do that, we'll send you a book out, and they're really good books. So
isn't that the fun part about meeting amazing people is that you start seeing the brilliance in humanity, right? You start seeing the brilliance in every moment of, our existence when we have that connection.
I call it connecting to source, which is what the late Wayne Dyer. I never had an opportunity to meet him. I thought he was great. He got it, and he was a great speaker,
Yeah.
and he had a great message. And so before I go on the air, before I go on stage, I take a minute and just clear my mind, and I guess I was doing that and thought maybe this would be a good thing to do. I do when I was doing morning drive radio in the Santa Barbara Ventura area, I would do such crazy things. I set up my newsman for a date. I mean, he was so mad at me. He was a single guy, and kept complaining he didn't have anybody to go to the movies with. And I just said, who wants to go to the movies with, I can't think of his name. Brian. His name was Brian. So who wants to go to the movies and dinner with Brian? You know, station will pay for it. And so I got, it was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's what, when I used to try, I had to become a kind of a recovering introvert. I mean, not only a recovering introvert, but also a recovering perfectionist. And, you know, and I get why I was both, you know, but once I got rid of that and I'm like, let's just have things happen. Boy, did everything just start moving. You know, even my presentation skills. Oh my gosh, when I wasn't so structured on what I was going to cover every single second of that time, and I just started letting it happen, it just, it just exploded. And,
I get people who call me, who are on the show. I don't pre-interview, but I may talk to them. I may see that the book is of interest to me. And I say something to them like, hey, you went away now. Are you still there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Got it.
Posting on Twitter.
What happens is that these people will answer in a pre-scripted manner, and it becomes boring.
Yeah, and I think it's more fun, you know, and I'm in part of my life where things have to be fun. And I was kind of got over I had to have outcome for everything, right? I had to know what the outcome was going to be in order to do something. Just the other day, someone's like, well, what's my outcome if I come on your show? I'm like, who knows? I don't know who's going to be on listening to. I don't know who's going to listen to the recording. You know, we get so stuck on wanting to control life.
And that goes back to the power of the mind. If you let go, the mind and the universe will take over, will help you. And the universe can be God, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It's all individual. At least it is in my life.
And I also think leaving for opportunities to happen. You know, I was just in Oakland at this event that I was speaking at, and their food at the hotel was like really bad. I'm like, okay, we can't do this. So I'm like, okay, where's the closest Starbucks? So I go to the Starbucks. I have a rental car, you know, and I zoom in, and of course I'm like imagining, you know, I'm going to get that front parking spot. There it was waiting for me. And I walk in and I'm like, I really want some amazing things to happen today. And I sat next to this older kind of Hispanic guy, and there was a red-winged blackbird sitting out front and hopping around. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's a red-winged blackbird. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've only seen once before in my life. And we just started talking, and he had just gotten retired and he was getting all these benefits, and he was just so happy. And we just had this great conversation, and then he gets up. There was no expectations of what was going to happen from there. And then another lady came in and sat down, and she got immediately on the phone. She was talking to a lady, and she said something about being a keynote. And so, of course, I waited for her to get off the phone very patiently. And I was like running out of time, like, I need to get back. And finally she got off, and I was like, hey, I didn't know you were a keynote speaker. And we just had this great conversation. I'm like, I've got to go, but I really want to connect.
Right.
So now I've got her business card, right? So I was like, we're going to connect now. So you just never know if you have just openness and just the ability to sit there and say, what will happen today?
Follow up with so many people?
Well, that's a good question. It does take time. I usually try, especially like after an event, I'm sitting at the airport. I usually try to get there early because you never know how long the lines are going to take to get through,
right.
through security and all that kind of stuff. So I'm usually got an hour to play in the airport. And so I log into Gmail, and start sending out emails, and I set up a calendar of what times I've got, so I use Calendly. I hate the name because I can't pronounce it, but
our friend Tina uses that too.
To do my calendar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think she's the one I found out about it from.
Like
and there's none of these systems are perfect. None of them do everything, but at least this one you can do group meetings, so you can have multiple people in one group, scheduling it at one time, which is a problem I've had with Time Trade and some of the others. So I just send them the little link and I'm done, and then to follow up with some people that I just meet randomly, I usually try to do the same thing, but a lot of times it's just sending them an email. Hey, let's connect. When do you have open?
Do you meet people at the supermarket?
Let them see what happens.
Isn't that great?
I meet people everywhere. Now I don't really grocery shop, and it's one of those things I can't stand. So my husband does it. Thank God. But yeah, people sending, filling up the car with gas, and you just start talking to people, and most of the time it's because no one ever talks to them. No one ever asks them how their day's going, and really listen to them. Don't just ask somebody something and then you're off looking someplace. Really focus on them and give them that attention. I did that last night with my son. He came down, we're starting his first business. He's 12 and he's like, right. I always have my kids start their business when they're 12 and he has questions and he's conversing and we're just start this great conversation and we're laughing. But you have to be, there was a show on, and I don't really watch a lot of TVs and stuff, but it was like that's irrelevant. Right. Who cares, who's dying or what, And my husband's like, y'all are so loud. I'm trying to focus on the TV. I'm trying to see the show.
Right.
We just don't watch shows together that often. But to me, that moment with my son was more important than what was going on in the TV. And that's what I think people don't do, is focus their heart and their soul and their mind.
Well, what kind of business is your son going into, if I may ask?
It's been a challenge to figure out because my daughter, she was kind of real crafty and she could create lots of different things. And my son is more of a computer geek, and so one day he started talking about the graphics on the computer games, how do they make those guys do those things and the whole background. So we started talking about graphics and he's like, do you think I can learn that? I'm like, yeah. So I loaded up Fireworks on his computer,
right.
Showed him how to use it. Right. And so now he's making these little cards. I got one from a lady at her event. So they're like little postcards. So he's going to do little graphics and then we're going to put a little saying on the back and then people can put their contact information on there. So we're going to sell the concept to speakers so they can give it out to people with their, message on there, but they can also use it for interaction. So like, all right, everyone who has a heart on their card, find each other. So it also helps people
I think that's
who have
really
a hard time
good. My son was an
audience.
early entrepreneur and still is. And he's a chef. He started very early. And one day he asked me if I'd take him to the market to buy some chocolate. And he wanted to make dessert for the family. So I did. And he said, leave me alone. I'm going to do this myself. And I did, let him alone. And we raved, of course, about the chocolate truffles that he made. And the next day after school, he came home, took all the leftover truffles, cut them into little pieces, walked them up and down the neighborhood, giving them samples, and sold a couple $100 worth of truffles to our neighbors. Yeah.
Love it. Right. And it was so cute. You just see the exploration in their eyes, and I was like, well, so how much do you want to charge for these? Because I wanted him to start thinking about, pricing, and he's like, how about $1,000? I'm like, let's talk about some realities of pricing, so it was just awesome to see him stretch himself.
No, it's great to see that. And a lot of people don't have that drive. It's unfortunate that, I think it's somewhere around 70 to 80% of the people in this country don't enjoy what they do.
Right. I think it's even higher numbers who on January 1st, it's like 85% of people who want to leave their job and do something else. And I'm like, I can't imagine that, because I've been self-employed since I was 25. So I've always done.
You're smarter than I am.
And and I wanted my children to be able to. And what's interesting is my daughter is about to turn 21. She really loves social media. She's really, really good at it. But she wants a job. She wants some stability starting off her life. And I'm like, let's see how long that's going to take you.
But at the same time, doing that, she'll also have interaction with others, which could spark ideas, maybe spark the new generation of social media, right?
Oh yeah, and just the reality of how to interact with people.
Uh-oh, you went away. You're calling back in. I don't know if I'm on or not.
I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Can you see me now?
I can. I couldn't for the last few minutes.
I have no idea what happened. So
the magic of the internet.
I did have, a tornado was like down the road for me. So it may be my end, and who knows, the internet could have lost or something. So.
Well, I have a theory about weather, and it's based on a Twilight Zone episode where two little Martians, they're in a spaceship this big, and they're parked on the other side of the moon, but they can hear and manipulate things down here on Earth. And I think there are two Martians there, and they're messing with us.
Always.
Always.
Oh, love it. So tell us, Mark, how can people get in touch with you? Do you have some type of offer that you would like to give them today besides the fabulous book?
Well, we've got the book. And then if somebody would like to be on Late Night Health, we have some specials that we're doing. All they have to do is go to latenighthealth.com, go to info. There's a place in there, info@latenighthealth.com, and the email will come to me. If they put in their special, we will give them a special deal to be on the radio show, which includes our newsletter, place on our a full page on our website. You'll be on iTunes, and there are a number of different things. Just make sure you have a contact name, number, and an email, and we'll get back to you. I'll do that personally if you do that.
Awesome. Perfect. So y'all make sure you take advantage of that, because, wow, you need to know Mark anyways. There's certain people, and I always go to an event, I kind of scour around, and there's some people that think they're all that, and I'm like, those are okay. I'm just going to stay away. And then there's just people that you just know, these are the people that I'm meant to know at this event. And Mark was one of them. I'm like, hey, we got to know each other.
Well, I appreciate it. You've been a big help to me, and this has been so much fun. Can we do this again?
Always.
Sometime?
Always. You let me know, and we're doing it.
All right. This is a lot of fun. It really is. It's just really live. It's fun. I'm hoping that people enjoyed what we were doing, and we'll see what kind of response, that people get. Oh, I didn't talk about video production. We do that too. But the most important thing is to be happy, because happiness and love are the two most powerful things in the universe to me.
Yeah.
And, you've got to love your spouse. See, I'm getting love now.
Right. We'll give you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, and I think what I'd love to have you come on, talk a little bit about production and directorness, because I think a lot of people in business, we don't think about how are things looked at. I think that's that eye that you have that a lot of people are missing, by able to look and see what's missing or what's there that people aren't looking at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I meet a lot of people, especially doctors. Not that I don't like doctors, but everybody thinks they know what to do, and setting up shots, doing things in certain ways to make the video look the best. Also to communicate the message. As an interviewer, I was interviewing a dentist the other day, and his daughter kept interrupting and saying, "Do it this way." And I finally had to turn to her and say, if he answers a question like this, people will respond. She wanted him to say, "Hi, everybody." Well, we don't say hi, everybody. We say, "Hi, you." And I invite you to listen to Tanya every morning because she's so good. It's a one-on-one. This is a one-on-one media. We're talking to one person at a time.
Yeah, it's even when you're on stage and you're talking to a group, you don't look at the tops of their heads. You look at eyeballs, know? And it's uncomfortable when you first start doing it, but that has so much impact, especially if you're selling from stage. You've got to look at
the windows of my soul.
Exactly. And that is so hard for people. They're like, oh, and I'm like, they want you to look at them. They want you to see their eyeballs. It's not that they're trying to avoid yours. They want you to look right into them. And it makes the biggest difference ever.
No, I think that as a producer director, you take an idea and translate it into videoese. Okay. I would never think of telling somebody to take a supplement or to have a surgery.
Right.
I tell people I'm the video doctor, if you will, so that I can take a bunch of video and turn it into a sizzle reel. Or if you have a small company, I can show you how to position it on the internet. I don't do the SEO. I just do the video, the content part. I'm a content creator. I used to be a producer. Now I'm a content creator. By the way, these are my dad's laugh lines.
Nice. Well, that's what people just, I'm always surprised because some of the smallest tweaks, right? Because it's all about tweaking, make the biggest difference. And a lot of it is just a word or two.
Yes.
When we were at that event, I was sitting by the incredible Scott Schilling, who has sold millions from stage. And I was listening to him because he was critiquing everybody that was on stage. He goes, "Oh, if they had said it this way." So I'm like, keeping note. I'm like, "Oh, that's good."
Scott got up there and talked about the fact that he was on stage in Los Angeles and he had a stroke.
Right.
He's talking about this now. He's going to be on Late Night Health shortly. I was the director
when he was
right. I wanted to take him immediately. I saw something was wrong. I wanted to take him to the doctor. He waited, and fortunately, everything worked out.
Yeah.
But that's when I met Scott. I worked with him on a project 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, and everyone listening, please don't wait. If you're feeling bad, don't blow it off. My husband blew off 2 weeks after he had a stroke.
Oh, my God.
And yeah, he's okay pretty much. I don't know how much it would have changed if he had gone immediately into, because it was a minor one, but still, let's take care of ourselves.
I don't know how much time we have left, but I wanted to send out a couple of shouts.
Oh, perfect.
I love you, Carol. That's my wife.
Yay.
April 2nd, 38 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. One time. And I want to say hello to the insane Daryl Wayne, my radio partner. I want to say hi to Becca and Dave and Kevin Stern for all being part of our late night health team. And also Bill. Nice. Bill Frank. So those are our team members. And, again, if you want that book, go to latenighthealth.com. You'll be able to hear Tanya in about a week and a half, 2 weeks on our show. I can't wait. What are we going to talk about?
Something fun, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And the idea of the show is to empower people to take charge of their health care. And I think that's the most important part. Without health, you have nothing. Look at Steve Jobs. I know.
I went through cancer. I've gone through lots of challenges in the past, and and I really believe that a lot of it came from being so negative and being in a victim mentality. So,
right.
I would love to help out. And we've got a couple minutes, so make sure you get connected. Why don't you go ahead and put your website link again into the little chat area, Mark? And that way y'all can, that way y'all can get in touch with them. We also have nominations open, so you could be nominated for local, national, or international collaborator of the year. So go to publicspeakersconference.com and you can find out all about the conference, but also get yourself nominated. You can nominate yourself, which is awesome.
I nominate you.
I can't win my own awards.
Oh, okay.
Nominate yourself. My panel I got a whole panel that's here in Austin, and they choose the winner. They always are spot on about who they choose. So yeah, you definitely need to get yourself nominated. We also have video contests going on, and it's really the power of your message. So we've got like the best business tip, the best personal story. We've got lots of different categories. So it's under a 5-minute. Don't try to make it this big professional ordeal of video. It's mostly your words. So get those submitted also. Same website, publicspeakersconference.com. Yeah, with your phone, do a Periscope or something. And then we would love to help you get connected and find new clients and change lives with your message. We've got a Blabathon coming up on March 22nd. So it's going to be a full day of blab. And then what's going to be great is that we're all going to be self-promoting through our list. So you'll be able to get your message out to so many people by utilizing other people's people. So if you're interested in that, plus we've got a virtual teleconference coming up in April 20th that you could be on. We would love to do, it's just a straight 25-minute presentation for that virtual summit. So all of that is at publicspeakers with an S, association.com. I'll put that back in here, and that way you can find out more about becoming a member of the association. I also just sent out 11 speaking opportunities. I'm about to send out some more because they're booking. There's associations, corporate conferences, industry conferences, radio shows, you name it. We would love to get you connected to those so you could go out there and change lives. So thank you, Mark, for being on my show today. I really appreciate your time. Oh, you're muted again. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I didn't even touch it. Listen, thank you very much. I can't wait to have you on our show. We're going to have a ball. You'll love the insane Daryl Wayne. And awesome. And thank you. I am so honored out of all the people there that you picked me to be one of your guests. I'm very, very honored and pleased to do that. Thank you very much.
I loved having you on. Let's have you on again. So let's get that scheduled. All right, everybody.
We're
off. Have a fantastic rest of your day.